if you pay attention to the gaming space, you notice that there was Forza Horizon 6 gameplay released recently. And it's been released to mixed reactions.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Some people really just don't seem impressed by the fact that a driving game looks like you're driving. There's a lot of criticisms that it looks a little bit too much like its predecessors. And it brings up this argument that's been had for who knows how long now. Every time a new game comes out, there's just this constant criticism in the community that's like, this looks too much like the last one. I don't see many differences. And it's a weird argument. It happens all the time. People just look at it and like, wait, that's it? Really? There's nothing else? When the trailer for GTA 6 dropped, everyone's like, oh damn, looks great. But it looks a lot like modded GTA 5. And now the newest trailer of GTA 6 came out recently and everyone's like, oh, okay, this looks even more detailed than before. And now that Forza Horizon 6 is also coming out, they're like, oh, it looks cool. I can't see the difference between this one and 5. And it makes you think then, how good is this argument really? Because believe it or not, the gaming industry is hitting something that every other industry in its history has always hit, a wall, which for a racing game, you don't really want to hit. Because, you know, you're driving a car, and if you hit a wall, then it's gonna be really, really bad, and it's gonna hurt. And okay. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and start accusing every developer and studio of being super lazy. Let's backtrack a little bit. If you grew up playing games in the 90s or the early 2000s, every new generation felt insane. Characters went from blocky geometry to smoother models, lighting became a lot more dynamic, and environments became giant. You can even just look at the evolution of GTA as a whole. A really big jump was GTA 3 to GTA 4. Cars had physics, pedestrians reacted to you, the world had some weight to it. It started to feel like the games weren't really evolutions anymore, like every game was more so an entirely different universe. And then around the mid 2010s, there was a shift. Games started to look a lot more real. And obviously, once you start getting super realistic, improving it kind of gets a little weird. Modern games are starting to approach photorealism, which essentially just means it's starting to look a lot like real life. And racing games like the Forza Horizon series or even the Forza Motorsport series, they fit the bill, probably better than any other genre of video game. Take a look at these images real quick. You could easily mistake some of these shots for actual footage. Car paint reflects the environment, lighting behaves realistically, the materials react to sunlight properly. So we've kind of hit the point where the improvements are really just things like better lighting, better reflections, more accurate shadows, more accurate skin rendering, higher resolution textures. And the issue there is that most of these improvements are tiny. Developers probably spend years working on these improvements, but really the only way that a gamer is going to notice it is by zooming in, squinting, and staring at the puddle in front of them. And that creates a bit of an illusion that graphics aren't really improving, but they are. It's just really, really slow. There's also a bit of a psychology issue here. People are really good at noticing giant differences, especially dudes, and guys are still a very primary audience for these kinds of games. I mean, when's the last time your girl or any woman has looked at you and said, do you like what I did with my hair? And you actually noticed. Don't lie to me. I've been there. But don't lie to me. Upgrading from a flip phone to a smartphone, yeah, that's a pretty big change. But then if you're upgrading from the iPhone 15 to the iPhone 16, well, Apple users are going to tell you they can notice a difference, but you're freaking lying. You don't. Games are starting to hit that same point now. There's also another small issue, and it's not the biggest issue. It's just, it's a small thing when it comes to presentation. You're probably watching these trailers on YouTube. YouTube is notorious for compressing the living hell out of these videos. If there is any minor improvements that are being made, good chance you probably can't tell on YouTube. Of course, that's not always the case, but you get where I'm going. This does go hand in hand with another point, and that's performance. See, the vast majority of gamers, we're not all freaking rich. My PC, it's good enough. It's good enough so that I can enjoy a decent balance of good graphics and good performance. There's other people that are not as blessed, and there's other people that are more blessed. So you have people asking, okay, well, if the game has improved, why does it run worse? The issue is that a lot of modern games, they will put a lot of focus on improving the graphics and making the game look as pretty as possible, but they usually ignore then the optimization of the game, so the entire back end is atrocious. So then if you want your game to run at the very least 30 frames a second, Jesus, you have to crank all the knobs down for the graphics, and at that point you can't tell that any improvements were made. At that point, just to get the game to run smoothly, it's gonna look like the game from 3 generations before. A lot of games just launch horribly optimized nowadays. Look at Cyberpunk. Okay, I know, I get it. It's a good game now, I understand. Don't worry. Haven't gotten the chance to play it yet, to be honest. Haven't even given it a shot. But I heard it is good now. But the launch? The thing is though, it's not just graphics. A lot of newer games are also running a lot more simulations in the background. You have the NPCs being a lot more involved. The world feels a bit more alive. But that means that there's a lot more stuff going on and a lot more computing power needed. So when you have that fighting with the graphics, that's a lot of computing power needed. And if your computer just can't handle it, you're gonna crank down a lot of knobs and the game ain't gonna look all that new and refreshed and modern. Then you also have ray tracing. Ray tracing is being used in just about every game nowadays. Older games use a lot of lighting tricks, fake reflections, weird tricks with the shadows just to make it look like the lighting was good. But ray tracing simulates actual light physics. So there's actual rays of light being simulated in the game for very real reflections and very real shadows. That is an insane amount of graphics and simulation rendering, which is horrendous for consistent frames, especially if your computer is poverty spec. So then, if graphics are starting to plateau, slowly but surely, where do we go from here to actually make a game better? At this point, it's gonna start getting into a lot more simulation stuff, more big, giant, insane open world level stuff, smarter environments, more alive environments, massive world simulation like Microsoft Flight Simulator, maybe dynamic destructive environments like in Battlefield or the Finals. You'll probably see AI getting thrown into the NPCs to make them feel more active, which would also be slightly creepy. Instead of just the graphics becoming believable, the world itself is going to start becoming more believable. At this rate, we're going to end up creating the whole universe of Ready Player One. So no, the graphics haven't stopped improving. Forza Horizon 6 is graphically better than Forza Horizon 5, but the changes aren't as ridiculous as you would imagine. They're not going to hit the same levels as that jump from the year 2000 to 2007, for example. It's probably never gonna happen ever again. So now we just have to start looking for different kinds of changes outside of just graphical. Is Forza Horizon 6 better than Forza Horizon 5 in other areas? Is the world better? Is your customization options better? I would hope, for the love of God, etc. etc. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm very curious to know. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, follow me on all my socials. I have them all linked down in the description. Today's verse of the day is from Psalm 139, chapters 23 through 24, and it reads, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." God bless everyone, and I hope that wherever you guys are, whenever you guys are watching today's video, you have a great, wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.